Hi, I'm Dr. Donna Gilman,
And I'm Catherine Waddell.
and we're the co-directors of the Couples Center of the Pioneer Valley, and we'd like to talk to you today a little bit about intensives.
So lots of couples these days are choosing to do relationship intensives instead of slogging through week after week after week of couples therapy, sort of ripping the Band-Aid off and putting it back on. So, Donna, how do you decide with a couple if an intensive is right for them?
Right. Well, most of the couples that call up have been going through this for a while, sometimes decades, and they've had a lot of experience with either neutral to even bad couples therapy. They're not making any progress or very slow progress, or there's even damage going on, as you say, in the course of the sessions. So when a couple calls, one of the things that seems to make it a good fit is if they're ready and willing to do a real deep dive into an understanding of their own unique contributions to the gridlock that's going on in the relationship. So it's not just about pointing fingers, but really a willingness to understand and take accountability of their own pieces and actually get some really concrete practice around life skills within the context of the intensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Catherine, can you speak a little bit about some of the reasons that a couple would come in to do an intensive?
Sure. Well, I would say some of the really common ones that we see, or certainly that I see, are people come in when they're in crisis is very common. Either an affair has just been revealed, there's been a big rupture of some kind in the relationship, or something that's been going on for a really long time that has just become sort of untenable for one or both people. Also, sometimes people really want to come in and really work on a central issue that they haven't been able to get any traction on, such as, let's say, sex or money. So those are very common types of things that we see with people who want to do intensives.
Right. And there's also a really unique kind of counseling called discernment counseling, right? For couples who are on the brink and are really not sure what is the best step forward in terms of the future of the relationship. And each person needs to get like greater clarity and confidence in their decision about that.
About staying together or splitting up, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Donna, lots of times people want to know how is an intensive structured?
That's a great question. So intensives are always customized for the unique couple, but there are certain components that are always the same. There is going to be a foundational piece of learning that goes on within the intensive so that people understand through a developmental lens sort of how they got where they got. Each of them individually and collectively. And then there's always a setup for live practice within the context of the intensive so that people are really learning how to flex new emotional muscle and they can then take those really concrete skills back into their everyday lives. And we never end an intensive without a very clear path forward in terms of how this couple is going to continue to progress and keep the momentum going once the intensive ends.
Yeah, great. And that sort of leads to another question, which is a lot of people want to know what can we expect at the end of an intensive? Like, we're not going to work miracles.
Yeah, and we can probably both speak to this. I mean, from my
Yeah.
perspective, each partner should walk away with a deeper understanding of how they've contributed to the dynamic that's no longer serving them or the relationship, and had some experience in practicing something very different in a
Right.
facilitated fashion. And that includes looking at assumptions and projections and unresolved family of origin issues, and really having a sense of what's on their side of the street that only they can work on, and being a little less concerned and preoccupied about what their partner is doing or not doing.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I would say one of the things too that people can expect by the end of an intensive is a really clear, direct roadmap and really good tools and skills that we send you away with about how to continue the differentiation work. Really clear about what your part is, what you're going to work on, what matters to you, why you're going to do it, and then some tools and skills around that. So for more information on intensives, if you're interested, please feel free to just send us an inquiry, and one of us will get back to you.
Thanks.